The government of Ghana, with the support of the World Bank and the USAID, presents to you the Gcap Diaries. The Diaries showcase the success stories of the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Gcap has come to change the face of farming in Ghana.
We have currently supported 31 grantees on various fronts.
Because of Gcap's intervention, today we have about 60% of the total number of outgrowers that we have being women.
We have learned agronomic practices.
Through the trainings, farmers have been able to increase their yields.
Gcap intervention, the road is fine.
The intervention of Gcap has been lovely and farmers have embraced it.
We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market.
Watch Gcap Diaries on this channel every Saturday at 10 a.m.
In the past, most agriculture development projects were unsuccessful because they were both short-sighted and unsustainable. They were short-sighted because the interventions focused on supply rather than demand. In other words, development agencies would provide fertilizer and tractors and other implements to improve yields for smallholder farmers. Yet, without simultaneously improving the infrastructure and building the market for the higher product volume, increased crop yields actually had the adverse effect of driving down prices, as there was nowhere to sell the surplus except for the same markets as before, which now had greater leverage in negotiation. And it was unsustainable because once the funding for the project was complete, the gravy train would grind to a halt, and the tractors would sit in a garage somewhere. If they were lucky, broken down and rusting away into oblivion. The logical response to these failures was to focus not on the production side, but rather the markets. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture through Gcap is responding positively to such failures. Gcap is redefining commercial agriculture in Ghana by a unique definition of the concept of commercial agriculture, which it sees in terms of economic activities anywhere along the agricultural value chain that have a market orientation. To Gcap, commercial agriculture does not necessarily imply large-scale mechanized production technologies, although such enterprises are covered by the project. It is the conviction of the project that smallholder family farms can be commercial if they interact sufficiently with the market for inputs and especially outputs. Agribusiness and agro-processing, large and small scale, are also included. This is an example of a win-win situation that benefits the entire market in a sustainable way. Gathering farm produce from several farms in one location to sell to buyers aggregating, such as grocery stores or institutions like a school or hospital, is an important strategy for farmers, meeting demand for local and regional food. Many aggregators are calling themselves food hubs. Food hubs have emerged as a key business model for aggregation of product for sale into local and regional food markets. One such aggregator is Wilfin Enterprise, based in Bolgatanga and established in 2010. The company supports outgrowers in diverse ways: tractor services, shelling services, linkages to other partners like credit facilities and input dealers. Wilfin Enterprise also trains farmers on good agronomic practices and operates demonstration farms. It currently runs 10 demonstration farms in Zebila and the Binduri districts. The company also runs an outgrower system with over 1,000 outgrowers spread in the Kassina Nankana East and West districts and the Bolga municipality. Wilfin Enterprise mainly cultivates maize and rice. The company cultivates 15 acres of maize in Kologo in the Kassina Nankana district. It also cultivates 30 acres of rice in Fumbisi. The company aggregates maize to sell to mainly second-cycle institutions in the country and market women. Wilfred Akpanga is the managing director of Wilfin Enterprise.
The objective of Wilfin Enterprise is secured livelihood for the smallholder farmer. We are into farming, we farm rice, we farm maize, we are into training support to outgrowers, and we render a holistic outgrower support system. We also do demonstration farming, and we render consultancies to other related agribusiness enterprises and individuals.
Maize yields in Ghana, particularly northern Ghana, have been very low. Averagely, farmers harvest 2 to 3 maxi bags of maize per acre as compared to the minimum of 10 maxi bags per acre expected if farmers efficiently apply fertilizer to their crops. Reasons accounting for low maize productivity levels are numerous. Significant are farmers' lack of inputs or inadequate or timely access to production inputs, low soil fertility statuses, lack of fertilizer application, delays in planting, inappropriate farm management practices, low and erratic rainfall pattern, use of poor quality seeds, etc. Wilfin Enterprises' challenges were no different. The company and its outgrowers lacked the needed agronomic skills to enjoy high yields. The company's outgrowers lacked warehouse facilities to store their produce. The lack of this facility always led to crop wastage. The company, as an entity, was deficient in some technical agronomic skills.
Working with farmers, we encountered lack of experience in technical production. We noticed that many smallholder farmers were still doing the traditional sort of things and did not understand farming as a business. We noticed that they lacked a system of storage for their goods and their produce. We noticed a host of other basic little mistakes they made relating to farming. So we thought that we could intervene with capacity building, technical enterprise, and even to put them also into groupings to help them synergize.
In 2013, Wilfin Enterprise applied to Gcap for funding to help it train its outgrowers to acquire the needed agronomic and management skills to enable them increase yields and run their agribusinesses efficiently. Wilfin also sought to build the capacity of its outgrowers in group formation and leadership, business and entrepreneurship management, contracting, lobbying and advocacy, and financial management.
Gcap is supporting us with the construction of a warehouse for the storage of our produce and that of our outgrowers, and it's also supporting us with the training of our outgrowers in enterprise development, that is taking farming as a business and its related benefits. In technical development, we're talking about the practical farming agronomic practices and all other related issues, and also in group dynamics and leadership, so that they are able to work together much closely for a better yield. Gcap has also supported Wilfin Enterprise as an entity to train us technically as to how to manage our business as an entity, from the staffing to office management to relating with other institutions, and also to help us also be able to render the outgrower support much better.
The government of Ghana, with the support of the World Bank and the USAID, presents to you the Gcap Diaries. The diaries showcase the success stories of the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Gcap has come to change the face of farming in Ghana.
We have currently supported 31 grantees on various fronts.
Because of Gcap's intervention, today we have about 60% of the total number of outgrowers that we have being women.
We have learned agronomic practices.
Through the trainings, farmers have been able to increase their yields.
Gcap intervention, the road is fine.
The intervention of Gcap have been lovely and farmers have embraced it.
We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market.
Watch Gcap Diaries on this channel every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Gcap's model is to promote and facilitate the transfer of modern farming practices, knowledge and technology from nucleus agribusinesses to their smallholder outgrowers. Constraints addressed by Gcap in this first call included quality land development, irrigation systems, water management systems, warehouses, mills, pack houses, feeder roads, electricity or power connections, and capacity building of smallholder or outgrower farmers working with the applying nucleus farmers.
Gcap has these farmers that are operating in the southern zone and Accra Plains, and they are really existing farms that are. But we realize that they are not being able to progress. They have some binding constraints that we think this thing has to be addressed, and they are not, as I said, you said right, they are not able to also source for some funds to be able to make some progress. Because when you go to the bank and say, look, the interest is and the type of technical support that they will get to be able to make it, they are not getting it. So Gcap said, okay, then why not just intervene? Let's look at the key things that will let you be able to make an inroads. When we made a call for proposal, we responded to the call. After evaluation, Wilfin was selected to be supported under the Gcap matching grant. Currently, Gcap is supporting Wilfin to construct a warehouse, 500 metric ton warehouse, so that be able to handle post-harvest management when they produce. It's also providing capacity building, providing agronomic practices to the farmers. We are also giving technical support to Wilfin Enterprises.
Wilfin Enterprise was successful in their application. They received an amount of $195,000 to build the capacity of their staff and outgrowers in good agronomic practices, business and financial management, and construct a 500 metric ton warehouse. The company provided a matching contribution of $38,750. Jeff Ano, the monitoring and evaluation specialist at Gcap, gives us an insight into Wilfin Enterprises' proposal.
Wilfin Enterprises, unlike the other nucleus farmers or grantees that we have dealt with, he is an aggregator. What it means is that he himself is not farming, but he's supporting outgrowers to farm, and then he buys the produce from them. Because of his the nature of his business, he needs a warehouse to store the produce that he recovers from the farmers or buys from the farmers as well. So we are supporting him to construct a 500 metric ton warehouse for the produce that he deals in. And things are going quite well. We visited his farms, the location, a number of times to make sure that work is going on as planned and the work is of good quality. So we liaise with the engineers who also visit there, and we also go there and see with our rather untrained eye what is going on and report to the appropriate units for action. He's doing quite well. He also applied to build capacity in the outgrowers to ensure that he's getting good produce, because as an aggregator he also sells on to other users of the crops, and he needs a certain quality, so he must ensure that the quality is guaranteed through provision of inputs, the seeds and the plowing, and also training the outgrowers to be able to implement good farming practices to ensure quality. So we applied for capacity building fund, so we helped him in that regard as well. And we also helped him, we advised him to get a firm to help them to manage their business properly. So he also did that. So you can say that he's now doing better in managing his records and his farming operations.
As part of its implementation activities, the company and its 290 outgrowers were trained to upgrade their skills. A 500 metric ton warehouse was also constructed. The company was also given a grant as management support so as to utilize Gcap funds efficiently and strengthen the relationship between the nucleus farmer and outgrowers to make them profitable and competitive.
With the training that is supported by Gcap, production or yield has increased as compared to the previous time. That's due to the new technology that they have learned. They have also learned how to apply even this fertilizer on their farms, how to plant on rows. They plant in rows and now they get a good yield out of that. Gcap has also intervened by constructing a warehouse for us, which is almost finishing. Farmers or outgrowers will then get a convenient place to store these crops so that they will not spoil. So Gcap has done a great job to help our outgrowers.
The government of Ghana, with the support of the World Bank and the USAID, presents to you the Gcap Diaries. The Diaries showcase the success stories of the Ghana Commercial Agriculture Project being implemented by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Gcap has come to change the face of farming in Ghana.
We have currently supported 31 grantees on various fronts.
Because of Gcap's intervention, today we have about 60% of the total number of outgrowers that we have being women.
We have learned agronomic practices.
Through the trainings, farmers have been able to increase their yields.
Gcap intervention, the road is fine.
The intervention of Gcap has been lovely and farmers have embraced it.
We want people who know and understand the market and can produce to meet the needs of the market.
Watch Gcap Diaries on this channel every Saturday at 10 a.m.
Gcap support has been a timely intervention for Wilfin Enterprise and its outgrowers. They now have the skills and knowledge to apply in cultivation to get an increased yield. With the construction of the new warehouse, post-harvest losses will be history. The warehouse will ensure quality grains are stored for peak periods where produce can command higher prices.
With the help of Gcap, our farmlands have increased drastically, causing our productivity to increase. We basically used to farm for consumption for years, but today, we don't only farm for consumption, but to market some of our produce. This has helped cater for our children's school fees, hospital bills, etc. The knowledge we acquired has helped increase our yield. Also, we now understand the weather patterns and the right season to plant in, etc. Another challenge was that we didn't know where to purchase our farm inputs, such as fertilizers, weedicides, etc. With the help of Gcap, we now know.
Female farmers have seen a change in their smallholder farms thanks to Gcap support. There is equal access to inputs and arable land. They now don't have any major challenge that impedes on productivity. This has translated into them having enough income to take care of their families. Livelihood has been enhanced due to increased income and food security. Gcap's intervention has seen an increase in memberships of outgrower groups from 296 to 1,500. Group members are so enthused about farming, so much that they are encouraging the younger generation to take up farming and shed the idea of going to the south to look for menial jobs.
Gcap came in and provided some training last year. We were trained on effective planning methods, selection of seeds, application of fertilizer at all stages, and the use of other agrochemicals. They also trained us on post-harvest practices. After harvesting, we used to keep the produce at very odd places. This practice affected our sales of the produce on the market greatly. Today, Gcap is putting up a warehouse to help us store our produce until the lean season before we sell. After the sales of the produce, I used part of the money to rebuild my house. I also bought a sewing machine for my daughter, who had just finished learning dressmaking. This project has indeed helped us to be able to feed ourselves and also to pay our